In the earliest architecture, which is the symbolic, spirit is still trying to free itself in a way from nature. So architecture has to deal with nature, but it's very important for Hegel that the earliest architecture, the Tower of Babel, but also he talks a lot about the pyramids, it's very important that the pyramids are not natural, but they're dealing with nature. The pyramids for Hegel is architecture representing the spirit trying to free itself from nature. So it's important that the pyramids are a very abstract form. They don't mimic nature. Now, there are times when other ancient arts, like Egyptian art, think of the Sphinx, famously, in a way, confuses human forms with animal forms. The Egyptians would often repeat, they would have a sort of a line of sphinxes or a line of animal forms. Hegel sees this as a struggle of the spirit, trying to free itself from nature. So it repeats itself. It's not certain. It can't come to a conclusion, and that's why you get repetition. But you also, at its height, you get abstraction. Symbolic art does not directly express its spiritual content. It rather points to it. Therefore, it's symbolic. It indexes art. In a way, spirit is still external to symbolic art. And, it's also interesting that early architecture for Hegel doesn't enclose volumes. Now, he does talk about the Ellora caves of India, which is sort of, let's say, late symbolic for Hegel. In the Ellora caves, architecture does start to enclose volumes, but it's important that early architecture, symbolic architecture for Hegel, is really an object in space. It's not a construction of a volume. So architecture doesn't enclose volume. For Hegel, the primary symbolic architectural act is marking or assembling. And I think actually assemblage is important because if you think about it, the sites of Egyptian architecture, they're often it's an assemblage of very different and distinct objects. So the symbolic architecture is an architecture of marking and assembling.